We are here standing with our humanity because our politicians have failed to do so. We are standing here with our humanity because we are standing here with our humanity telling the politicians that they have lost theirs. So that is why we are here gathered. That is why we are never going to be silent. Yes, it's been a month in, but we are still here standing with our humanity. Yesterday we had an action in Surrey where about 2,000 people showed up. And we're going to keep having actions until these politicians get it through their heads that we are not going to continue voting for them until they stand with their humanity. Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
From the river to the sea!
From the river to the sea!
Palestine will be free!
Palestine will be free!
Thank you.
Now I'd like to invite up another amazing organizer, Janine's with Mobilization Against War and Occupation, and she's been the reason why so many has gathered and begun to move on these issues.
Thank you, Ellen, and thank you, Will, for organizing today, for bringing us together. It is so inspiring and so promising to look out and see all of you here today. Many faces I'm beginning to recognize week after week as we continue to protest, to continue to stand with our Palestinian brothers and sisters. My name is Janine Solanki. I'm here representing Mobilization Against War and Occupation, and I'm on the editorial board of the Fire This Time newspaper. Today, we are at a turning point in over 75 years of genocidal and racist Zionist Israeli occupation of Palestine. We know that this war, a war of oppress against oppressor, a fight for dignity, for self-determination against brutal occupation, didn't start on October 7th, but has been waged for 75 years against the Palestinian people. Today, Palestinians have ended all deceitful plans in the past, present, and future. Today, the tide is turning, as Palestinians will not accept any false promises or distractions from the Zionist Israeli regime, from their imperialist backers in the US, Britain, and Canada. Palestinians in Gaza, in all of Palestine, and all of us here, and all of us all around the world with Palestine are fighting for Palestinian self-determination, for the right to return, rights brutally taken away by the Zionist Israeli regime and their imperialist backers for 75 years. Jay! So today we're standing with our Palestinian brothers and sisters united in the demands: ceasefire now!
Ceasefire now!
Ceasefire now!
Ceasefire now!
And to the US, EU, Britain, Canada, imperialist hands off Palestine!
Hands off Palestine!
Stop bombing Gaza!
Stop bombing Gaza!
Stop bombing Gaza!
Stop bombing Gaza!
Palestinians and the solidarity movement worldwide are waging a struggle not just for the liberation of Palestine, but also for the human and democratic rights which have been denied to Palestinians. The struggle of Palestine is also a fight against imperialism, which today is led by the United States and their allies, including Canada. Shame! And this has caused death and destruction around the world, but especially in West Asia, in North Africa, and beyond. U.S. imperialism and its allies are responsible for the deaths of over 3 million people with their wars and occupations that started in 2001 with the massacre of people in Afghanistan and has continued with the wars and occupations in Afghanistan, Iraq, Libya, Syria, Yemen, Somalia, and Sudan. To this we say shame! So as we're here today, calling for a ceasefire, as we're calling to an end to the brutal Zionist Israeli bombardment against the Palestinian people, we're not only directing this demand to the Israeli regime, but also to the United States government. This war is conducted not just by Israel, and I think we all know that and we're seeing that, but also by the United States government, who bears responsibility in this genocide. Today, the United States Secretary of State, Anthony Blinken, said a ceasefire would be counterproductive. We know that the United States and their bloody hands that are bloody from all these people around the world, they have no respect for human lives. They're only thinking about their imperialist interests, but we are here to say that Palestine will be free and that we'll keep fighting. This colonial apartheid state of Israel, this is an imperialist project. This is why the United States is to blame and to bear responsibility. Israel is not a true country, a true state, not even a true government, because in 1917, the Balfour Declaration by the British government to the formation of Israel on Palestinian land in 1948. And today, Israel is only propped up by being funded with more than $4 billion a year of military aid from the United States. Billions more of aid from other imperialist countries to make sure that imperialist interests prevail in North Africa and West Asia. Israel is the United States' forward base in West Asia, a foothold in the region from which they are launching surveillance, military attacks, wars, occupations, to expand their plunder of wealth and resources of oppressed nations. And who pays the price? The heroic Palestinians. The Palestinian resistance, and resistance is indeed a fight for all of us against war and occupation. We have to stop the genocide of Palestinians by the Israeli military. More than 9,488, as of when I wrote this morning, and unfortunately probably more right now, Palestinian people have been killed in Gaza in this last month, including over 4,000 children. Jabalia refugee camp was bombed repeatedly this week, including a United Nations school today, killing over 210 Palestinians. Over 57 healthcare facilities in Gaza have been bombed since October 7th, including Al-Ahli Hospital, which massacred an estimated 500 to over 1,000, we still don't know, Palestinian people. And just today, the Israeli military forces struck a power generator of a hospital and destroyed a public water tank east of Rafah. To this we say shame. So across Canada and worldwide, in all continents, as previous speakers before me have said, masses of people have marched in solidarity with Palestine, including tens of thousands of people in West Bank, where they're also being attacked. We are the world. We are the majority. majority, and we will win because we are on the side of humanity. We are on the right side. So to close, I'd just like to say that we have been lied to for years and years that the Israel-Palestine conflict is complicated and that peace is distant. We look around us and we see people from all faiths in all these protests around the world. We know that when we fight for Palestine, we know the history of Palestine, a land where people of Muslim, of Christian, of Jewish, and all faiths are together and lived as neighbors, where human and democratic rights were not given and taken by the criminal Zionist project. There will be peace when Palestine is free, and with every leaf of every olive tree on the beautiful land of Palestine, and within every child, every Palestinian child for whom living and existing is resisting, and all of us standing here with so many people around the world, the struggle to free Palestine will continue. Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Ceasefire now!
Ceasefire now!
Ceasefire now!
Ceasefire now!
Self-determination for Palestine!
Self-determination for Palestine!
Stop the siege on Gaza now!
Stop the siege on Gaza now!
End the occupation now!
End the occupation now!
Thank you, everyone.
We have one more speaker, and then the choirs will join us together again.
I can't stand anymore.
Satoko Norimatsu is a long-time peace activist, and she'd particularly like to talk about Article 9 of the Japanese Constitution, which says they will not go to war. And she has been fighting against the American occupation of Okinawa and so many other things, writing, speaking with tremendous courage.
Thank you, Ellen. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for coming here today. I'm so honored. My name is Satoko, and I'm originally from Japan, and I've lived here for 25 years. And again, I thought Canada was better. We were told that Canada was a land of multiculturalism, freedom, and justice. But now they're part of the empire, part of the genocide. I'm so ashamed of my new home, Canada. And I'm also ashamed of Japan. A lot of people compare what's happening in Gaza to Hiroshima, the atomic bombing of Hiroshima 80 years ago that killed over 200,000 people. Yes, they were both flattened. So many civilians and babies and women, innocent people died. But there's something wrong with this comparison. It's fundamentally wrong. Yes, so many civilians were killed, but Japan was an empire. It's an enormous empire 80 years ago that covered 20% of the world population and 20 times of what Japan is now. It's an enormous, atrocious empire. And what about Palestine? Palestine is not empire. It's so opposite of empire. We are the empire. Japan is the empire. Canada is part of the empire. Yeah. So of course civilians are killed, and that's bad. But there's a foundation of comparison I'm challenging. If there's any comparison, there's China, there's Korea. We invaded those countries with fierce military forces and killed over 20 million people. And today I brought with me the souls of these 20 million people. And if you think about the struggle of the Koreans, it's similar to the struggle of Gaza. They rose up and they were killed at the end of 19th century. The farmers' uprising, 50,000 killed. There was a resistance fight And again, 20,000 or so were killed. Hundreds and thousands Koreans are killed in the resistance against Japanese empire, and they are mostly forgotten, but they are with me. They are with the people of Palestine today. So many people ask me, all lives matter. Of course, all lives matter. And my article that I wrote for this Japanese newspaper was cancelled, was censored because it wasn't critical enough of Hamas. Of course, murder is bad, but we have to look at the big picture. And the resistance fighters, and there's so many cases of history where the resistance fighters rose up and had to kill some people, but they were deprived of all the peaceful means. Korea was colonized, brutally colonized in Japan. Did the world care? They didn't care. They sent delegates to Hague to plead, for the world attention. Japan's colonizers, well, what do you do? But they didn't care. All the Western nations, they didn't care. They did not just care, but they encouraged it. Like there's a pact between United States and Japan, and that says, U.S. can have the Philippines, Japan can have Korea. And that's how the world ignored Korea. That's why the Koreans were deprived of all the peaceful diplomatic means to stand for independence, and they had to stand up with the force, and there was no other way. And that's where the Palestinians are. So this is why I don't just condemn Hamas. I condemn the empire. I condemn us, Japan, Canada, the United States. We have to condemn the empire. I'm going to quote. There was a Korean professor of Arizona State University that wrote an article for the Korean newspaper Hangyeore, and that deeply moved me. She said, it's a letter for the people who just couldn't support Palestine because of the violence and all that. But she said, living in a state that is as good as dead, Palestine has no choice but to resist. Rather than being subjected to unjust coercion in the name of peace, they would rather rise from the position of the oppressed and fight their rulers with their own strengths, because that is the only way to regain humanity. If you're considering what the root cause of this imminent struggle is, let us not use Hamas as an excuse to avoid solidarity with Palestine. Non-violence is not something we should force on Palestine, but something we should elicit. We should create a non-violent world so that there's no more need for these resistors to use force. What is needed to achieve a non-violent world more quickly is the liberation of the oppressed, the liberation of the Palestine. So let us now shout together, freedom for Palestine!
Freedom for Palestine!
Freedom for Palestine!
Freedom for Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Ceasefire now!
Ceasefire now!
Ceasefire now!
Ceasefire now!
Thanks so much.
All over the world, we're rising up. Now we have the choirs.
The sun has come out for Palestine.
Don't forget, we have a table of food. Do we sweat it over here if anyone's hungry? And you want to...
And I just want to let people know the next demonstration in Vancouver for Palestine will be on Thursday, November 9th at 5:30 p.m. just on the other side of the Vancouver Art Gallery. So next Thursday, 5:30.
Are you ready to sing with us? Okay, we're going to teach you a song called One Foot in Front of the Other. We'll sing it first and you follow, okay? Ready? 1, 2, 3. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. That's it, okay, let's go. 1, 2, 3. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Oh, one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Oh, one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Don't give up hope. Don't give up hope. You're not alone. You're not alone. Don't you give up. Don't you give up. Keep moving on. Keep moving on. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Oh, one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Oh, one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Lift up your eyes. Lift up your eyes. Don't you despair. Don't you despair. Look up ahead. Look up ahead. The path is there. The path is there. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Oh, one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Oh, one foot in front of the other and lead with love. I know you're scared. I know you're scared. And I'm scared too. And I'm scared too. But here I am. But here I am. Right next to you. Right next to you. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Oh, one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Oh, one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Again, and lead with love. One more time. And lead with love. Last time. And lead with love.
If you're just joining us now, this is Sherry, NDN Collective Tactical Media Researcher, and we are live in
Thank you from
so-called
my heart, from
Canada
all our hearts, I think.
at
That was
a
amazing.
ceasefire rally.
Now we have another activist who has been leading us all in peace for decades now, and she and her partner make these peace poppies that some of us are wearing, and she wants to talk about something that's happening next weekend. Remember.
I can hold it.
I've spent my adult life in solidarity with Palestinian self-determination, but that's not why I'm here today. I'm here today because violence doesn't work. War doesn't work. Violence and killing civilians will never bring self-determination for the Palestinians. Violence and killing civilians will never bring a peaceful future for Israel, or for Ukraine, or for Burundi, or for any of the other hundreds of countries around the world at war right now. We need to find a better way. We need to tell our countries to put money into peace building, into negotiation, into helping people work out their conflicts non-violently. And in that spirit, every November 11th for the past, this will be our 8th this year, we hold Let Peace Be Their Memorial. It's a wreath-laying ceremony for the overlooked victims, mainly civilian, of war. It's at 2 p.m. at the Vancouver Unitarian Centre at Oak and 49th, and everyone is welcome. There will be music, poetry, and beautiful handmade wreaths to recognize both the universal victims of war down through the centuries, women, children, Indigenous groups, refugees, and many others, including the environment. And we will also have some current conflict wreaths to draw our attention to the fact that beyond the conflicts that we hear about in our newspapers, there are people dying all over the world, and we need to care about black people and brown people and people everywhere as much as we do the Palestinians and the Ukrainians. So that's all I have to say. We have to find another way. War doesn't work.
Thank you. And you can get your peace poppies from her and make a donation to the cause. We have an amazing Indigenous youth activist, Lena Robinson, who would like to say a few words. And then we have another youth activist who would like to lead us in song.
Cycle, Youts. My name is Lena Robinson. I am Mohawk from the Six Nations of the Grand River. I am Haisla from Kitimat, BC, and I'm Heltsuk from Bella Bella, BC. I am an actress. I have been in Yellowstone since 1923, and I have acted across Canada, and I am so proud to be here. I wish to not say it, but I am the product of an attempted cultural genocide. My family, my grandma went to residential school in northern BC. I have lost countless residents. I have lost countless family, and I have lost my culture. I only know really how to say hello and a couple swear words in my language. No. Well, I guess I can call the governments, Justin Trudeau, Joe Biden, everybody that's allowing this genocide to happen. It's called an August Watts. It's called the dirty dog's ass. I guess I'm just here because I don't want to see another child that doesn't know anything else but war. That has to wake up knowing that their parents, their siblings have died at the hands of Israel and the government. And I want my children to know that I took a stand. I took a stand, and I am here. That we are with them. That we are with them, and we are praying for them, and we want nothing but peace. And everybody here can look around and know that we stand with peace. And we will only stand with peace. That is really all I have to say. But free Palestine now. Palestine, free, free Palestine, free, free Palestine. And cease fire now.
Cease fire now.
Cease fire now.
Cease fire now.
Joe Biden, Justin Trudeau, we are all looking at you. And we fucking see you.
Aisha is going to lead us in a song that I think you'll know the music of, and you can see her amazing t-shirt, Jews Against Genocide.
Yes, my name is Ashaya Kastner, and my grandmother was Trudy Kastner, who was a refugee to Turtle Island from the Nazi Holocaust in Vienna against the Jews, the genocide that was attempted against the Jews. My family was fortunate enough to escape and to find a home here on Turtle Island, which is, as we have heard today, and as we all know, another colonized land. And I am here as a guest on this Coast Salish land, this unceded, stolen land. And I am here in decolonial solidarity with all oppressed peoples everywhere in the world. and I am part of a grassroots organization started in Canada in response to a call by the Wet'suwet'en in northern BC for allies, settler allies, to support in their struggle against the Coastal GasLink pipeline and the occupation of Canada on their unceded, stolen land. And this week, we are being asked to take direct action. We are being asked to shut down business as usual here in Canada. We are being asked to stand in solidarity with our fellow humans who are being brutally killed, murdered, exterminated on the other side of the world. And we say we will not see any more of this. Enough is enough.
Enough is enough.
Never again means now.
Never again means now.
So I want to share this song with you, and I hope it's the tune to a very famous song, Blowin' in the Wind by Bob Dylan, a peace song. And I've written some lyrics in support of Gaza, and I hope this resonates with you and encourages you and inspires you to go out to these direct actions, to walk out of your place of work, to walk out of your school. We know that the only way to get them to stop is to stop the money. And I point the finger at Scotiabank for funding weapons to Israel. And I point the finger at RBC, the Royal Bank of Canada, which has been funding genocide since 1864, continues to fund it to this day, including funding Palantir, a company that provides surveillance AI technology to the Israelis. So this song, I hope you'll sing with me on the chorus, Blowin' in the Wind. The answer is blowin' in the wind, my friends. Ceasefire now!
Ceasefire now!
Ceasefire now! Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
How many babies must die in Gaza before the occupation will end? And how many guns will be sold for profit before we see peace again? The answer, my friends, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. The answer, my friends, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. And how many roads must a Jew walk down for justice and equality? And how many times must we raise our voice in decolonial solidarity? The answer, my friends, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. The answer, my friends, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. How many liberals does it take to stop funding Israel's war? And MPs, how do you want your names remembered against genocide or for? The answer, my friends, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. The answer, my friends, is blowing in the wind. Look at those flags. The answer is blowing in the wind. One more time. The answer, my friends, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Ceasefire now!
Ceasefire now!
Ceasefire now!
Ceasefire now!
I have one more speaker, and then I'll tell you a little bit about why WILF is working around the world and why we must all work around the world. Kira is a social worker, educator, and activist.
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. My name is Hira Rashid, and I am unequivocally 100% pro-Palestinian. And what I mean by that is I am pro-Palestinian without having to condemn and cut up my own identity to please the colonizers. Post 9/11, my mother and I were both attacked for being Muslim, and right now I know it feels like it's post 9/11 again for a lot of Muslims, a lot of Sikhs. There's anti-Semitism, there's queerphobia, there's hatred for anyone who is speaking up for the Palestinian people. I spoke last Saturday and I let you all know that the BC NDP still has not aligned with the federal NDP to call for a ceasefire. Shame! Premier David Eby has not called for a ceasefire. Shame! What is the point of calling for a humanitarian pause when our government continues to fund weapons to the enemy? We are complicit if we don't speak up, and I see so many faces out here today, and I am so proud of every single one of you for standing up without fear for the Palestinian people. Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
When we talk about liberation, we talk about liberation and freedom for all, not just the Palestinians, the Afghans being deported in Pakistan, the Sikh folks who have just seen a genocide in our recent history, the Congolese, the Sudanese, and my hands go up to the Indigenous peoples of Turtle Island who have been our allies since day one. I'm going to share a poem that I wrote, a quick spoken word piece that I wrote back in 2014 about Palestine, and that's where I will end it today. It's called Palestine. I was once Palestine, beautiful, bountiful, blessed. But ever since Al-Nakba, there has been nothing but pressure on my chest, bones crushed beneath the stress of war and killing. I am now barely Palestine. Hatred fueled by the media making their living saying we attack occupations and murder thousands of them without hesitation, but they don't see the trauma they cause us. They dare to justify and nullify our lives while we get classified as terrorists and they pacify our reality. Funding extremists to build over our property, and the children of Palestine, my children, thousands upon thousands of lives have seized. I am Palestine.
My skin is riddled with bullets like freckles in the summer sun, nowhere to run. This torture has just begun. When I call for help, they abuse me more, ripping me apart with bombs. My body is sick and it's sore. I'm Palestine. They've cut a strip from me and they call it Gaza. No man's land, yet it is my own son. I am Palestine. You lay your children in cribs filled with pillows, and my children sleep in the graves dug by the widows they once called mother. Since when did the terrified become the terrorists? To us, terrorism is spelled Israel. I am Palestine. I mourn the children growing in my womb. I will birth a nation of children of war, children who will have nothing but oppression as their nourishment and catastrophe to call home. I am Palestine. My skin has been ripped and there are cracks in my bones from all this fighting, and my pleas to you, I hope, will ignite a flame in you so you can fight to rewrite my upcoming days. I was Palestine. Reunite me with peace, release me from my chains. I dream of the day I was adorned with love and good health. I reminisce the wealth of memories when my air was scented with za'atar and zaytun, not bullets and blood. When children laughed in the streets, no fear of the colonizing beasts. A land of lush gardens, no sight of lands bombarded. I am Palestine. I was Palestine. I want to be Palestine, so please, please make me again sweet, graceful, and serene. Make me again my dear Palestine. Thank you.
Represent organizations or part of an organization? Hands up. Hands up if you're part of an organization. Choir, neighborhood house, family organization, whatever. I want to say that Women's International League for Peace has a statement of points that you need to take to your organization, and you need to get them to speak out to your MP and the Prime Minister and the leaders of every party in Canada and demand ceasefire now, end of arms to Israel, but there's all kinds of other points, like implement their obligation to protect and prevent crimes of genocide. Urgently call and take measures for the implementation of an immediate ceasefire, included but not limited to a cessation of all targets that target or indiscriminately affect civilians and civilian infrastructure. Go to the Women's International League for Peace and Freedom International website to see the points that your organization must be raising with our elected officials at every level of government. We gather here to build the coalitions. Now our voices must be raised, and we must raise these points at the highest level of the land and then right across the world. So I thank you all so much for joining us here today. I thank all the courage of the organizers who organized last night and those across Canada who are speaking out today. And I urge you to look around, talk to the people on either side of you, and find out what else you can do together. And don't forget, there will be more rallies. Janine mentioned one coming up on Saturday. Yes, Janine? No, Thursday. Thursday, 5:30 here on the other side. Okay, thank you. Free Palestine! Free Palestine! See